Before we get started in this chapter, tell you what, let's get loaded. We need more stuff. So click this button right down here. That's one of like 75 different ways that we can import material. Go into the working folder wherever you have it for this chapter. If you open it up, you will see we actually have stuff in here. Audio, baseball bikes, dressage, and multicam. Go ahead and collapse it. Just select it. We want everything. Click Import Selected. This time, I'm going to talk about these other options because we haven't done that yet. I do want to add them to holding, so that's fine. Media storage, we're going to copy them. Now, transcoding, what is that? In transcoding, you're making copies of the original media. To what purpose? Well, you have optimized. Some video formats can be very difficult to work with. They have very high bit rates. Everything slows down on you, and you create optimized media. What is that? It will make a copy of the file in the ProRes 422 format, which is really good for working, good quality, but it takes about 60 extra gig per hour of video. What's proxy? Proxy media is using the ProRes 422 proxy format. Now that's about 18 gig per hour of video. It's a little less quality, but it does work. And don't forget, it doesn't affect the final product, only as we are editing. Now in video, import folders as keyword collections. This replicates an existing folder structure, and you'll see that when we get them in. Now remove pull down applies to source media files recorded in very special frame cadence formats. Chances are, in most cases, that's going to be grayed out for you. Analyze for balance and color kind of speaks for itself. It's going to check the color. Find people is one I kind of like. It analyzes the clip for shot composition and facial detection. You can choose to consolidate find people results, and that averages the find people results based on 2-minute sections of the clip. We are going to do smart collections after the analysis, and that will give us collections based on things like how many people are in the shot, whether it's a long shot, and we'll add keywords to the clips. Now in audio, we'll look for audio problems, separate mono and group stereo audio, and remove any silent channels. So we're doing just about everything. Go ahead and click Import. Now you will notice down here, this is spinning. If I click it, it's a button. Now what's happening, it's bringing it in and it's doing all the things we asked it to do. This can take 10, 15 minutes easily, maybe even longer if you have more stuff. Okay, that took about 15 minutes. So when you're doing all of this, you want to factor in that time for it to come through, especially if you have a lot of stuff in main media. We'll come back here in a second. What about the things in main media that we didn't do this to, and in hindsight we wish we had? If you go in and choose a video, or more than one, and right-click your mouse, one of your options is to transcode the media, and you can do it right here. Additionally, if we right-click again, we can analyze and fix and choose these options too. If you've already brought it in and then you kind of wish you had the optimized media, it's no big deal. You can do it right now. Now let's look at what we have. If we go back to holding and I open it up, check this out. 09 working folder, audio, baseball. So what it's done is it's replicated the file structure that I had right here. That can save you a lot of time. It's already organized the materials for you. If we go back into working folder and see everything, we have keywords on these things now, and you'll notice they are cut into clips in a sense. So if we come over here and go into people, check this out. Close-ups, groups, mediums, one person, two persons, wide shot. It's telling me in the keywords, if you look, close-up, group, notice something about some of these, and I chose these for a reason. It doesn't always get it right, to be honest with you. Now this one here is a group, but that one isn't. I'm not sure why it thinks it's a group, but it isn't. You've got one person, two persons. Actually, there are 4 in this one. And you have wide shots. So it's not only using facial recognition to make this work, but it's actually cutting the clips at points in creating selections of clips based on this information. And like you saw, it doesn't get it right all the time, but it is a time saver to kind of get started. Now let's do one more thing here. Let's come down here and right-click, and let's make another event. And since we have an event called main media, well, let's call this one secondary media. We will have it in the WEC Energy library. Click OK. Now let's go ahead and open this one up. See, holding's got everything in it. Let's go ahead and select holding. Come over here and press Control A, and then move everything into secondary media. Now that does seem like, I will admit, an almost unnecessary step. I'm putting it into holding, and then I'm moving it into secondary media. What I usually do, and we don't really just have the time for that, is when I'm working on a complicated project, this gives me a place when they first come in to actually look at each one of them and decide if I like it or want it before I move it. If they're all in main media, it can be kind of confusing. Just something I do. You do not have to. All right, we've got our secondary media. We have our main media in WEC Energy Library. We still have a blank holding folder right now. We'll leave that alone. Let's go ahead and call this a lesson and move on.